Like I was explaining in my first video, this is the angry movie reviewer. I sit through shit so you don't have to. Um, in my first video, I was explaining the different formats of movies I buy and why I buy them. Well, this is part two, a follow up to that video. Like I was saying, yeah. When I go DVD or Blu-ray or 4K shopping, I don't look for specific movies. I personally look for movies that I know I've seen before and movies that I know I enjoy because this is one time. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Why am I gonna buy like It 2017 and I didn't really like it? To me, in my personal opinion, that movie played on your fear of clowns. And if you don't have a fear of clowns, of course, you're not gonna be scared of it. But that's my opinion and my opinion alone. Now, for example, Child's Play. I'll go out and I'll buy a box set of the Child's Play movies, all of them, all at once, because I've seen Child's Play when I was younger and up until now. I like the movies. I find enjoyment in them, and I don't actually hate them. So for me, it's not. It's something that I would have in my collection. It's not going to be an all the time watch, but it's something that's going to be there when I need it, just in case, I don't make enough in my check and my bills are running low and they shut off my cable. Well, I got a movie to watch. Same thing goes with my movie collection of Nightmare on Elm Street. I love those movies. It's one of my favorite horror movies. But to be fair, it's not something I watch all the time. I only watch it when I'm really in the mood for something horror related. It's the same thing with my Leprechaun collection and my Critters collection. Now, I've been asked this question before. Is there a certain movie in my collection that is my favorite movie? Well, actually, yes, there is. And that is King Kong 1933. I'll explain. That was my first introduction to Ray Harryhausen's work. Second, that was a movie when my grandmother was alive, God rest her soul. Before she died, when I used to go over to her house, we used to watch it together. And it gave us something that we could bond over and enjoy together. So that has a special place and meaning in my heart for that reason. Other than that, the other movies I have in my collection, I bought them because nostalgia purposes. Example, I know many people hate Super Mario Brothers, the movies, the movie. For me personally, I saw it in the 80s at the theater. Oh, I know it's a 90s movie, but you know what my point is. I saw it at the theater, I enjoyed it, and it didn't bother me. It was a different take on the Mario Brothers franchise, taking place in a different dimension in an alternate reality. I was okay with that. I looked at it from the sci-fi aspect of the movie, not the fanboy nostalgia goggles type person aspect. Yeah, it wasn't a great film, but it was something that's worth watching and showing to your kids. Same thing with Double Dragon. Worth watching and showing to your kids, if for nothing more, so that you can show them what you used to watch when you were a kid. Same thing can be said for Masters of the Universe. And the list goes on and on. I have The Legend of Billie Jean. I thoroughly enjoy that movie too. It's one of my favorites. 3 O'Clock High is another one. If you were to peek into my collection, it's a lot of 80s movies I got. Like, for example, I got some 90s stuff too. Guyver. And I got Guyver 2 Dark Hero. I do collect Disney films. I got all the Monsters Inc., all the Lilo and Stitches, every Aladdin, every Lion King. You know, because even though I'm an adult, I still have nostalgia for Disney's cartoons. I got Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland, Sword in the Stone, Robin Hood, Black Cauldron, Dinosaur with the Iguanodon. The list goes on. Cars. You name it, I got it. And I enjoy them, and I won't stop buying them. Like I was saying in my other video, I recently picked up Hong Kong Phooey. Picked it up on the cheap for $13, complete series at Target. That was a 70s cartoon that I grew up with in the 80s and into the 90s. Same thing with Popeye. I don't regret adding Hong Kong Phooey to my collection. That's something I grew up with, something I know, something I watch. If they had Godzilla, the old one with Captain Majors, on DVD or Blu-ray, the complete series, I'd buy it just for nostalgia purposes. That's how I pick and choose the movies I get. Yeah, I got a bunch of movies that people hated. I'll make an example. One movie that I know everybody hates on is Jem and the Holograms. But I own the animated series because in the 90s I have sisters, so I grew up watching that with them. The movie, I got it for the simple fact that I'm a bad movie reviewer, so I sit through shit that people won't, so that way they don't have to, and I explain it to them. I'll be honest, Jem is not your typical great movie by any means. It's terrible. It's just Jem in name, that's it, by all accounts. But it's something I have in my collection for that purpose. And I've had people say, well, I bet you after you review the movies you get rid of them. No, I hold on to them. Because you never know who's going to come over and who might see it. And there might be a person that actually likes it and want to sit down and watch it. And I'm not going to judge them for that. Same thing goes for My Little Pony. I got My Little Pony because I grew up with it in the 80s. They made a remake for nowadays. I own the nowadays movie because I can't find the 80s version. But I seen it on Blu-ray at Walmart. And I'm probably going to pick it up and get rid of my single DVD for that. But that's me. That's why I pick and choose the movies that I have. I have the movie The Last Starfighter. Again, I grew up with that. Flight of the Navigator. Grew up with that. And the list goes on. I could sit here for days and tell you why I have what I have. But, I mean, instead of doing that, all you really need to know is I got them because I grew up with them. It's the same thing with the Fast and the Furious box set. I like that franchise. I own it. I like the Mission Impossible franchise. I own it. The Rambo franchise. I own it. I own everything I own in DVD or Blu-ray for a reason. Up, I liked it. I own it. Oliver and Company. Liked it. Own it. Beauty and the Beast. Liked it. Own it. You know. And just like many of you, that's why many of you have the collection of movies or blues or 4Ks you have because you like them and you own them. Same thing with my Godzilla movies. I picked out the Godzilla movies that I liked and now I own. But this is just a follow-up to my first video on why I have what I have as far as movies go and the formats. This is the Angry Movie Reviewer. I'm me, you're you, I'm out.